give you a quick weekly outlook. Obviously, the date is Cinco de Mayo, right? May 5th. All right. And I ain't gonna lie, we crushed it last week, right? We absolutely crushed it last week. The markets are moving beautifully, lots of moves, lots of things going in our favor. So I'm just looking for everything to continue, right? Going into our favor, right? So with that being said, every week ain't just a monster week, but when you have the opportunities, you definitely gotta take advantage of them. You know what I mean? Because trading ain't no job. You ain't gonna get paid the same amount every single week, but when you do have those weeks where the market is being gracious to you, you want to be prepared, right? And that's why, they say proper preparation prevents poor performance, right? So this is why I always tell my team, like, it's important to show up and put your time in and pay your dues, right? There's going to be days where you show up to the charts. Like, I'm a New York session trader for the most part. So, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning, Central Time, and I'm trading the markets. And some days they're set up, some days there's not. And sometimes you could feel like you're wasting your time. Sometimes you get up and you spend 2-3 hours on the charts and you don't make nothing, right? But ultimately the market is gonna bless you in return when the time comes, right? Trading is a lot like sales, in my opinion, right? And I know that might sound strange to a lot of people, but when you look at a sales-based business, right, you might have a monster month, you might have a break-even month, you might have a slower month, and every month is going to be slightly different, right? Or maybe drastically different, not even slightly, but drastically different. But when you look at it over the course of the year, you can have a very successful year. You might have a year where you made, 200, $300,000, but, you might have one month that was worth 50, another month worth 10, another month worth 5, another month worth 35. And, it's up and down, right? And a lot of times that's how sales is, and truth be told, that's how trading is as well. So, past few weeks have been really, really, really good for me personally. And I just know that if you guys continuously pay your dues and show up, even when the amount is small, that's what's going to put you in position to make those big profits when you get that huge move in the market that you've been waiting on. But if you're not putting in that time right now, when that move happens, you're not going to be ready for it. You're not going to be prepared for it because of all the days that you didn't put in previously. All right. So let's take that mindset into this week. Make sure you guys are paying your dues. Make sure you are really not just looking at what you can get out of this, but look at what you can become from this, right? A lot of people look at the end result of what it is that they're doing versus looking at the process of becoming the more disciplined person, the person that shows up just to work on the craft, not even to work on the outcome or the result, because truth be told, it's the process that is the most fulfilling. One day you're going to get used to making money, and it's not going to necessarily just surprise you anymore, but you're going to be more grateful that you became somebody that you didn't think you were previously, right? And that only comes when you find joy in the process, right? So this ain't no mindset call. I did just want to, drop a couple of gems on y'all, because I do feel like psychology is important, when it comes to reaching the next level of trading, right? And a lot of people focus on technicals, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there, somebody that has the most basic technicals, but they're crushing it, right? And although I do believe technicals are very important, right? But trading is a lot. It has a lot to do with the mental side of things, right? Psychological elements of trading, right? But let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm gonna start with Nas. Nas paid well. I don't know if you're on a call or if you were a part of my community. Obviously, you remember we was talking about 17,296, right? This level specifically, just looking at this sell to buy candle, I marked up the 50% of it, right at the 50% level. We see I actually got in early right here, and then the market came back. And tap that level perfectly. Now, craziest thing happened right here, right? I lost one of my funded accounts because of this move. Market popped up, and I'm at this point, I'm up like 6-7%, right? I kind of over leveraged just a little bit, but and then when the market came back, I hit my equity drawdown because I wasn't paying attention. So that was just a tough lesson learned right there. But it is what it is. You know, it ain't the end of the world. You know, we got other opportunities and more money to trade with. So, but it's just one of those things where you got to be on top of it. You know, I let myself get distracted, but the market did have a nice initial pop, right? I want to say this is where was it FOMC or CPI last week? I forgot, right? But one of those days, or one of those events gave us a nice bullish push. Then the market actually came back, right? And then tapped into 17,296 perfectly, right? And this is why it's important. When you have a level marked up, you know, hold on to that level because the market knows what it's doing. Like sometimes it don't hit when you want it to, or what right when you expect it to, but the market always comes back to these levels, right? So that you have marked off. So with this, you know, I did had a sell to buy candle, had this you know, order block right here, or the sell before the buy, had a little area of imbalance right here, and then that laid on top of the 50%. So this is realistically the area that I wanted to take buys from, which is the reason why I was okay taking buys here. Once we pushed down and swept this low, I did get in buys initially down here. So ultimately, both, you know, this entry and this one are both valid in my book because they did respect the sell to buy with the small imbalance here. So just with that, obviously the market did what it's supposed to do. Actually made new highs. So, you know, respect the market structure nicely like I wanted to, you know, had a low here and put in some highs, and the highs were weak. If you can, you know, notice that the highs were very weak, didn't really look very strong. So that just gave me more reason to believe that this low was going to lead to a new high being created. And that's exactly what we got, right? So now that we had that understood, you know, what is the market going to do now? I'm in full belief that we're going to continue bullish for a while. I say this all the time, you know, even when Nas is bearish or any indice for that matter, even when it's bearish, it ain't bearish that long, right? You know, you have these moments of drop off, you know, a crash. It could be a quick crash. It could be, you know, um, whatever. It's just a short term downtrend, but they never really last that long. You know, like I mean, couple months at the latest, but more likely than not, and it's not even, you know, more likely. It's like it's pretty much guaranteed. Indices always return bullish, right? And if you just think about the companies that, you know, make up these, you know, things like Nas or US 30, when you think about, you know, like the Nvidias of the world, Google's, Amazon, Apple's, Tesla's, like when you think about these companies, they ain't going nowhere ever, and they ain't gonna go broke, right? They'll fire people before they go broke. They'll, you know, hire or get robots and AI before they go broke. They'll whatever happens, they gonna always return back bullish. Like it don't matter if the whole country goes into a recession. The top companies in the indices market or in the stock market, I should say, will always be powerful, right? Like we ain't got to wake up one day and worry about Apple going broke, Amazon going broke, Tesla going broke. Like, so when you think about things like that, you know, the market will always be bullish. I don't care what happens short term. And this is why, again, if we, oops, I don't know what I just did. That's why if we look at this long term, the market always returns bullish. All you got to do is zoom out on your chart for a while, and you will see that the market is always bullish. That's why they say buy and hold stocks, right? Because essentially you're guaranteed to win if you just buy and hold. So that's why anytime when it comes to something like Nas, when I'm clearing out lows like this, for example, I'm always expecting the market to return back bullish one way or another. When I clear out sell side liquidity and especially major sell side liquidity, and then I see the market starting to trend bullish again, That's the easiest trade setup you could take in your entire life, right? So that's that. I do expect Nas to continue bullish, right? I do expect Nas to continue bullish. Um, probably get a short retracement somewhere in here. If we retrace steeper, so be it. That'll just be great. It just give me a better position. But ultimately, I am looking for this to make new highs. Hopefully this week, if not going into next week for sure. I do look for us to make new highs. So I would be looking at 18.5 to be hit, okay, with relative ease, right? So now let's go ahead and go to GBP USD. I'm also bullish on this, although we did have a nice little spike down from, this area of imbalance. Overall, I am still bullish on this just due to the fact that when I have super big areas of imbalance like this, I don't really use those as an opportunity to sell from, right? And a lot of people might say, well, if the imbalance is meant to sell, then why not sell? And I'll be honest, just over time, the research that I've done, if the imbalance is like big like this, it might, give a little drop off or something. But a lot of times, this market is going to get filled in completely, right? So I actually look for areas like this for the market to come fill in. All right. Now you might say, well, what about this example over here? The market pushed up into it, then the market dropped. That is true, right? That is true. But considering now that we are leaving this higher time frame demand zone, I'm just more bullish right now than anything. I do believe that the market has the potential to go to the upside a lot longer. All right. So I would be looking for any retracements that you can find to go long, right? This was another trade that I called out last week into the signals chat that I have. 9 pip stop loss, 100 pip take profit. As you can see, perfect entry. 100 pip take profit, executed to a T. So these are the type of trade setups like they don't get no better than this, right? Obviously, the market went like 150, 160 pips, right? And you could be upset that you missed out on that, but to get, risk 9 to get 100, you know, with ease like that, you can't be mad at that. Don't that's stuff like this is what can set you free for life. You know what I'm saying? So just understanding that, beautiful trade setup overall. I do feel like we can get some short-term sales though. I'm not oblivious to that. With this hard fall off, I wouldn't be surprised to see, the market, hesitate off of demand here. And we come sweep highs with this wick, and the market can come push into this wick and, give us some short-term selling, right? So that wouldn't surprise me at all, just due to the fact that we did pop up into that huge area imbalance. I know a lot of people probably selling, so I think the market could give us some sales just so more people can chase it. I know everybody is looking at this as an area of imbalance, so why not? Why not induce sellers before you take them out, right? So that's what I'm pretty much looking to see happen. I'll probably take this with a small risk opportunity on the sale right here because this isn't the best supply zone in the world, but I'm just looking at it from a standpoint of the market did just shoot up 160 pips. You know, um, we did get this large candle. So it does tell me that somebody is sponsoring this candle, right? An institution or something. So the fact that, we did get that huge bullish candle, then, we do hesitate off of the demand that candle created. But you do have a hezzy crossover bearish. It wouldn't surprise me if, we just got some bearishness temporarily before we continued bullish. All right. So short-term sales, if we can get lower into the price range overall, I'll probably be looking to some, continued buys. All right. So yeah, I don't have nothing on EuroCAD right now. Um yeah, I remember. I think I probably did this on a weekly outlook a couple weeks ago. I'll look through the videos, but I know for sure I gave this buy entry out to y'all. Hezi crossover bullish, obviously inducement here. Market clears that sell side liquidity and internal range liquidity. As we push down in this area, market continues bullish. Overall, the order flow is bullish. I just believe that we got a little bit more because we got to clear out that high over there, right? So this is simple market structure, with smart money concepts applied to it. We got the low putting in that high, market retraced. We made this higher low, and now the market is just trending back up to break this high and make a new high. So with that being said, on a lower time frame, we do see ourselves, making this low, this high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So now it's like, just look for that to continue. Let's not, reinvent the wheel. Look for a higher low to be created. And then we make a higher high that clears out this high over here to the left, right? So that's what I'm looking for to see happening. You could retrace a little bit. I mean, it could be into, the 4684 area. Um, maybe it comes down to this candle specifically, right? It's the easiest one to take just because it's the extreme of the low, right? So obviously if it gets back to that point, then that's a great thing. If it don't get that low, then I don't see much happening in this area. I would like to see it come down here. So something like that. And if the market can't retrace, I feel like we could take another buy. But if we do end up clearing, 4-7, if we end up clearing like 4-7-6-6 beforehand, like if we clear this high before reaching this demand zone, then I'm not gonna take the buy no more. Right. So this buy is only if I don't clear out this black line up here first, right? Because I don't want to take buy side liquidity and still be looking to buy again later on. Like I want to buy into the buy side liquidity. But if I already clear that area of liquidity, there's no reason for me to take another buy right here. That doesn't make sense. The buy is only to take out the money that's resting up there, right? So keep your eyes on that. Don't really have nothing here. This was the loss I took last week, so full transparency. I'm being real though. I mean, just depending on who you are, you probably could have made some money on it because the market did drop over 40 pips. It just ended up reversing. But depending on the type of trader you are, maybe you partialed out. But either way, I'm not gonna count it as a win. I did count that as one of my losses for the week. I want to say last week before, took this sell on USD CAD. Already came back. It's gonna, continue to drop so far. Don't really see nothing on USD CAD that really interests me. I'll be honest, I don't even like USD CAD like that. I need to take it out of my favorites because I don't trade it often at all. Gold still dropped, right? Gold was actually pretty stagnant last week. Now, obviously, it is a volatile, currency. I don't want to call it currency, but gold is a valuable metal to trade, right? And it's very volatile. So with that being said, is even on these smaller fluctuations and stuff, you can make a lot of money. But just for me, it's not like a lot of clear price action, precise price action that I see that makes me want to trade anything on it just yet, right? A lot of people like that volatility, right? A lot of people like the toxic person they're in a relationship with too, but that ain't me. I like, cool, calm, consistent pairs. I don't want to be wondering what a pair thinking all the time and, the pair just blow up on me and take my money. Like I like consistency. I like predictability. I don't like a bunch of random nonsense when I'm dealing with my currencies. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't see me trade gold that much. But it's crazy because I did, mark up that 24.14 level, and just to see how I got hit with the precision, I'm like, I could trade gold if I really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Come up here, clear liquidity. We make these equal highs, consolidation, manipulation, continuation. Like every time, if you guys can really just remember those three things when it comes to trying to find a reversal or trying to find an entry in general, you're gonna be okay, right? It's three phases to the market every time, right? And notice I haven't even gotten into the hezzy crossover sauce. I haven't gotten deep into the ace entry sauce. Um, but this is just basic level stuff. This is a free call, obviously. So, but if you could just train yourself to see stuff like this, all right, the market is consolidating, check. Then if you see this blue box right here, the market is manipulating the highs, right? It's manipulation because it looks like one thing, but it's meaning to do another. Like that's what a master manipulator does, right? They show you one thing, but they intend to do something else, right? And that's what the market is doing. The market is showing you bullishness, but it's intending on selling, right? So it manipulates the highs. You know, people probably start thinking it's about to break out and go bullish, when in reality it's just about to reverse and tank, right? So let's really think about this. Like I said, I know I don't have much that I want to look at on that, but it even goes back to a trade that I gave out last week as well. This is another trade that I gave out last week. It went up over 190 pips, right? Consolidation, markets ranging back and forth. The green box is the manipulation. The continuation where you actually get in is right here, right? So it's very simple. There's three phases to the market. One is the back and forth consolidation. Two is manipulation. Three is continuation. And this is a trade setup that was given right here. Oops. Right. So three phases of a textbook reversal: consolidation, manipulation, continuation. As you can see, this is exactly what's happening. I feel like this first little drop off part is just about finished. So now this week, I would probably start anticipating some sort of reversal, or the market could just, go straight to hell nonstop. Nobody knows really. You got to react to the markets at the end of the day. So, there's no guarantee that any one thing is going to happen, but, that's that. All right. So, it's just cool to see stuff like this play out in real time. Because it's like, guys, you can sit at home in your house and predict the moves that the financial market makes. I don't think a lot of people understand the power that they have, right? But this is something that affects people's livelihood. This is something that affects employment. It's something that affects cost of goods, inflation, the housing market, you name it, right? Everything is surrounded by and affected by these charts. And the fact that you can sit at home and predict it with precise accuracy, right, is very, very amazing. I don't want you guys to take that skill set for granted, honestly. So, but let's keep it pushing. Overall, like I said before, I do expect this market to start to retrace a bit. Look for some re-entry opportunities. We do have a little imbalance here that could give us something. And then we have like a small buy to sell candle right around here. That's at 9175. Like 9175, I would look around that area. Maybe this little imbalance here, but 9175 especially, look for some continuations on the sell side of things, all right? So I am looking for more bearishness on the DXY, all right? This is exactly what I expected to happen, and it did. So I am glad about that. As you can see, I did have this area marked off as an area of supply. Since it did drop, hopefully we can continue. And I'm not saying it's gonna drop forever, but I do want it to at least drop to clear out some of these lows before we think about going higher again. All right. So run through the AUDs real quick. I don't know what I marked up there, but I did not take that trade. I'm glad I didn't because my intuition probably kicked in at that moment. AU was on a rocket, which is funny because AU don't even move like that. But when it does, you can get something out of it. A little too far gone for me personally. I wouldn't necessarily take any trade in any direction on AUD USD. Right? How many trades do I take in a week? I'd say at least 4 or 5 bare minimum. It could be closer to 12 or 15. It just depends because I'm a lower time frame trader. I'm not a swing trader by nature. Sometimes I find myself in swing trades because I just get the optimal entry, right? Like the best entry or of a reversal. And that will allow me to be in a trade a lot longer. But typically, I'm not a swing trader. I just take a couple setups a day. Might be one, might be two. On a rare occasion, I might take three. But the thing is, and I hate that I can't just give you a concrete answer, but here's the truth. You know, I might trade one pair, but I might take it multiple times in one day because I'm not the type of guy that just picks a point of interest and I say, this is the only place I can get into the trade, right? I actually give myself a grace period of taking two, maybe even three setups on one pair because you might pick the wrong point of interest, but you know the direction that the market is going. So if I mess up on my point of interest, I'll find another point of interest and then I'll see if I can get in alignment with the direction that the market wants to go. If you're a part of my community, I talk about this being option A, option B type trade setups. All right. So, that's something that I go over at depth. Um, an example would be this here. So this, right? So Euro USD buy limit, right? So that was the first option. Then we have option B, where if it doesn't respect the area that I have it clearing lows and then going, right? Ultimately, that ended up playing out. The first option played out to a T perfectly, right? But then I did this again right here, right? So this was another trade that I had two options, right? So if the first one failed, I was gonna find a way to get back in, right? So right here, option A is here. Option B, we might clear that low and then keep going. So like I know the market's going bullish. It's just where am I going to get in? That's really the question. And no matter how good of a trader you are, sometimes you just pick the wrong damn point of interest. So I got an option A right here, entry, stop loss, take profits. Option B right here, but I didn't need option B because option A hit all my take profits, right? So it's just stuff like that, you know. So when it hits on the first try, that's always fun. But you know, that's that. Um, so sometimes just like one, sometimes I only take one trade a day. Sometimes I might take two or three. So I hope that answers your question. Am I trading live every day? I trade live handful of times a week. Probably about anywhere from I trade live like 3 to 5 times a week. I trade New York session Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I trade pre-London at my discretion. If I see something worth taking, I'll trade pre-London. But I probably do about 3 to 5 live trade sessions a week, and I do an educational call. But so realistically, you're gonna get anywhere from 4 to 6 calls a week from me, and that's not including the call I'm doing right now. So it could really be 7 calls a week that I do for my community. Again, the pre-London is at my discretion because it's like if there's something there, I don't want to miss it. But if it's not something there, I'm not gonna waste everybody's time. I'll just be like, look, I'll see y'all in the morning. I don't got no setups today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's that. But yeah, man, I'm telling y'all, like stuff like this, it's just so beautiful to be able to understand what's going on. And it's worth it, bro. It's so worth it. I don't know what persuaded me to keep going this long, but I'm glad I did. I really am. Time is gonna pass you by anyway. You might as well pick up a skill set. Let's see. Let's see what we got. I think GJ is gonna go bullish. Had a large drop off. I feel like it's been so bullish. I wouldn't be surprised to see it continue. Just a steep little fall off to regather its thoughts and to return bullish again. So obviously you don't want to enter after two big 4-hour candles. So if you can retrace it all, I feel like that'll probably be a solid entry for you. I don't trade GJ often, but maybe that's something you're interested in. GA. Yeah. Don't see much on GA. If anything, I just think the market might, rebound in order to try to sell again in the future. But nothing on GA really enticing me. GBP Chef. This is hilarious because I was so close to selling this last week, but I didn't. And then I had to watch the market melt without me. So now the only thing that I could really do is just wait, right? Gotta buy the sell candle here. If we could retrace into this area, I will gladly take sales at 1.46 and to down to make new lows, right? Take sales at 1.46 and target the lows here. Got a little area imbalance resting right here that could act as a magnet for price. So I'm looking at 1.46 for the sales. You could look at, 1.32 for the target, right? Yeah, that was that trade I just showed y'all with the option A, option B. That GBP NZD, perfect trade. That was interesting because I don't trade GBP NZD really. But as a day, I just needed something to trade. I was fiending for a setup. USD, nothing there. Market two overextended for me. Same thing here. Truth be told, I could try to justify a reason to be like, okay, cleared out some liquidity here. You got a buy the sell candle right here. The market's gonna drop. And it might drop. I'm gonna be honest. Like the market could very well drop from here, but just not interested in it. Just not that interested in it, if I'm being honest. So I'm gonna let NZD CAD go on about its business. Because here's the thing: the market is impulsing up, even though you could justifiably say this is an area of supply. If I take this sell and I lose, I'm gonna feel like an idiot because the body language of the markets was never in my favor. So I'm gonna just, even though I could justifiably convince myself this is area of supply, I'm gonna skip it. Now here's the thing: the market might drop and drop 100 pips. You just got to be okay with that. It's about taking the trades you're comfortable with. It's about taking the trades that you could see replicating themselves over and over again without you having to stress yourself out on whether or not you know you're hallucinating or not. But some people be hallucinating on the chart. Some people think they seeing stuff and they don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So I like seeing stuff that's nice and clear, so that way I don't have to second guess it. That's the best way that I have been able to find consistency in the markets, right? Um, I do think NZD CHF might drop though. I do see that. This has a better chance of dropping, in my opinion, than the other ones. Because we do have, stuff being created. We have lows that are creating liquidity. We had highs to the left that did get knocked out. So that's that consolidation phase for me. Then we cleared out the highs with this manipulation. I explained to you guys earlier that any of those big impulsive candles are looked at as manipulation because that's a big candle that little guys like you and me can't create on our own, right? So stuff like that is where you got to be mindful of potential institutional activity. So when I see something like that, that does give me reason to believe that we could drop from where we currently are. So I would keep my eyes on NZD CHF for the potential to drop. All right. And I already looked at USD pairs. So guys, that is it, right? Told you I wasn't gonna be long, but I was gonna be strong, right? Only 40 about 40 minutes or so. We started a little bit after 9. So again, I just wanted to come on here, touch base with you guys. I know some of you guys are gonna be watching the replay, so I didn't want to prolong it too long. It's already later in the day. So I want to be able to get this recording up in a timely manner, right? Because I'm already a little later than I usually am. So other than that, I really, really do appreciate y'all for tuning in. Never take it for granted. I'm very, very excited just for the direction that everybody's going in their trading and development. I'm excited for Trade Genius. I'm excited for everybody that's a part of it and everybody that even tunes in on the free calls, right? I'm excited for you guys as well because, even this one little day that we have together, I feel like a lot of y'all get better from it, all right? But again, if you guys want to get closer access to me on a daily basis, I would definitely look at tapping into Trade Genius Academy. And if you're already a part of it, let's look forward to having a monster week this week. But just before we hop off, any comments, questions, or concerns from anybody, all right? Comments, questions, concerns from anybody. I appreciate y'all too, man. Appreciate y'all too. It ain't no thing. I'm a trade anyway, so I enjoy dropping these calls because it keeps me sharp and it continues to make me better. I gotta try to see it from multiple perspectives, trying to find the proper ways to articulate and make sense of what it is that I'm seeing. It helps me just as much as it helps y'all. So it ain't no thing, man. I appreciate y'all. But all right, much love, man. I will see you guys at the top or from the top. Wait. Is that a question? Hold on. With everything that's going on for us, do you think futures will take over? I mean, in America, yeah. I mean, the world is a big place. There's a lot of people that trade in other countries as well, where they can trade forex comfortably, or they don't have regulations on what it is that they can trade, because that's the real reason why everybody's talking about futures, especially here in America, because in America we're technically not allowed, technically you really ain't supposed to be allowed to trade certain things, but we just been getting away with it for so long. But now that the hammer finally got dropped. So in America, yes. Other countries, probably not as much, just because Forex and MetaTrader has just been the way for so long. But you live, you learn, you adapt, you adjust. That's all it is. I was against changing for the longest, but at the end of the day, if you really love this, sometimes you got to learn, the new infrastructure. And the markets is the markets. At the end of the day, I'm a lower time frame trader, so I do feel like my trading style is more equipped for futures than most others. But you know, to each his own. I ain't saying this for everybody, but I don't think it's gonna affect me much because I'll be taking entries on the 1 minute anyway, 5 minute and stuff like that. Can you trade the same exact way on futures as you do on forex? Strategy wise, yeah. That's why my slogan is any pair, anywhere. I mean anywhere. Stocks, futures, forex, crypto, it don't matter, right? But there are some rules to it. You got to close your trades. You know, before the end of the day. So, a new market day, that's was it 5 p.m. Eastern? So you really want to close it like an hour prior to that, really. Um, but if you trade during sessions, right, then you'll be okay. It's kind of like how a lot of stock traders trade. Like stock traders, they take their trades in the morning and typically they done early in the afternoon. And that's kind of how the same approach you got to take with futures, right? Like I know option traders, like they just trade in the mornings and a couple hours later they completely done. So, it kind of takes away that luxury of long-term swing trading, but I do feel like it can help you be a little more routine as well. It has its pros and cons for sure. What do you mean by lower time frame trader? No, I'm not a scalper. I don't think scalpers really look at price action as much as they probably should. Or maybe they look at price action, but just a different type. Like, I don't think scalpers are paying that much attention to market structure and trying to catch a 1 to 5 or something like that. Um, and maybe that's just my interpretation of it. But when I think of a scalper, I don't think scalpers are trying to get 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 risk to reward from their trades. You know what I'm saying? I think they just like if you get a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 as a scalper, you happy. So I wouldn't consider myself as a scalper. I would say I'm intraday. All right. I'm not a scalper, but I'm not a swinger. So I'm like a step, just a little bit over a scalper. I'm intraday because I still let my patterns play out and stuff like that. I just do it on a lower time frame because the markets are fractal and everything you see on the big picture, you can see it on the small. Any other questions for me? Any other questions, guys? Any other questions?